I'm live. Let me check what my video is doing. Okay, hi. Get the goat cam set up. I still need to do my incense because I'm a bit late. This one is cinnamon rose, which it's the Emmy Grande, H-E-N, which I got from my local witch shop because I was there to get some stuff for a friend, and I thought, well, may as well get more incense because I need more. So yeah, let me know how you are in the chat if and when you feel like chatting. Now I have to open this, and I don't want to use my yarn scissors, my fabric scissors, which are the only ones I have up here because they'll get dull. But I might. Anyway, last time my live suddenly cut off. Thankfully it had already saved to YouTube because my laptop ran out of battery. Oh yeah, no worries, Mars. Have a good call with your grandma. And so this time I decided that since my laptop's getting a bit older, I need to go ahead and just start bringing the cord with it because the battery's not going to last as long as I need it to, just in case for a live, because it's to where, like, it, at least if my phone's plugged in, which I need it to be for a live, it won't last for the whole hour that I'm scheduled. So yeah, it's time to bring the cord with us, which is an extra annoyance, but that's fine. Ooh, nice bright flame, which I'm gonna blow out. I was gonna try to show you, but I felt like that was probably not a good idea because it was a pretty big flame. But now it's just a nice burning the way incense should. It's hard because, like, you want incense to smolder, but not burn like a match, and like the trick is how do you get it to go partially out so it's not an open flame but not all the way out. Witch problems you didn't know you would have. Death Wish coffee with chocolate powder. Took me this long to realize I could make my favorite drink, mocha, at home. And creamer, because I can't not have creamer. Also, sparkling water. Like hydration. Okay. Before we get into the next part of the bunny lace tutorial, I have a few fun things to update you on, including yarn. But the one thing is I did go ahead and put the entire rest of the written pattern in part 3 because even though I don't really celebrate Easter myself, I was thinking, you know, that's the time when people really want to be able to do like bunny themed crafts. So since I didn't get it out by then, I was like, you know, I'll go ahead and do that, and that saves me the work of doing that this time. I mean, I can just copy paste the part that we will have done. Pardon. So, yeah. Other fun things, I mentioned in the Altnuts Live that I was doing some mosaic granny squares with really tiny yarn. The crochet thread one is this 1.5 millimeter hook. Just so you know what I'm working with. It's the pattern is one that I bought from Etsy. I forget the name or the vendor, but like it's 12 mosaic colorwork squares that are based on different flowers. Ooh, the cinnamon in that incense is definitely coming through. And speaking of cinnamon rose, which is the flavor of the incense, that's this is the rose square. And I did that because I wanted to see what it actually looked like. Because I'm doing, since I love, I'm so goth. My genuine favorite thing is black roses. So I decided to do the rose pattern all in black, just as like a very subtle thing. But I wanted to see what it actually looked like, so I did it in color work, and I'm making like shorts. I guess this will be the waistband of those. And by shorts, I mean, I'm too shy to say boxers. But anyway. Like, I kind of need more of those. So may as well make them in a way that I like. Anyway, speaking of squares, the and alt knots, I am doing this stitch and scream, but like not with the. I've completely given up on the actual official stitches because I know that my brain just won't will not put up with me trying to do the same stitch for a whole month. So I'm just picking lace stitches that I like and want to do. I did do the January stitch, the spider stitch, in this nice Boss Kitty yarn, the Coraline color. I think it goes like this. But even that, oh look, I have a couple of missed spots. Even that, I made the holes a bit bigger than is in the pattern because I was having a hard time finding where I'm supposed to put my hook. So I'm happy with how this turned out, and I don't know if this is the actual dimensions of the square, but I'm just going off of this one. Then February I decided to do some heart lace, and I had a lot of trouble keeping it square. Like you can see on this edge, and this line of tall stitches is me trying really hard to even it out. Didn't quite work, but I tried. But yeah, this is a heart lace stitch that I found. If you look at it up close, it's like, yeah, the hearts are about the size of a quarter. As in the US money. Not sure if that helps for anyone else. But yeah. And good news, I finally finished my March square, which again is totally different from the, like, and it's a leaf pattern because I was channeling my goats, kind of, and I was just like, suddenly I need to do a pattern with tasty leaves. And so I just found some leaf lace and did this. I did half of the square in like a few days because I was like, I need to finish this. It's April. And I haven't started my April square. But I have picked the yarn, which is nice. I haven't picked the stitch though. But speaking of yarn, this is, again, Boss Kitty. I have 3 skeins from her currently. And this is the Murder Mittens, I think. Again, fingering weight, so I was using like 2.5, I think. And this one, I don't know, I think it's like Baby Yak or something that it came in the big box of yarn that my friend sent me when she was helping her grandma-in-law, I think, clean out some yarn in her house, and like she had lots of nice yarn, so I was like, sure, I'll take it. And speaking of the yarn I picked for the next for this month for my square, it's super exciting, and it leads into one of my other show and tells. We will get to the bunny lace. For now, this is a one-off, and I've decided to keep it. This is one of my skeins. This is going to be my March square, and it's exciting because I've never gotten to, like, I have a few skeins set aside, and also planned projects I'm going to do with my yarn, but like this will be the first time I'll get to actually see it worked up because I haven't finished planning the projects with the other yarn, so I sort of panicked when the colors first hit this, and then I was like, no, I can save it, so I put blue on it the whole thing, and that kind of tied it together, and now I love it. It's kind of iridescent, so yeah. Let's go ahead and go through the rest of the yarn preview, and then we can do a few rows of the bunny lace. I did dye more of the red and black colorway. I've put tags on all of them so that I know which is which. It looks a bit more orange in the camera than it actually is, but red is hard to take accurate pictures of. This is a new one. My friend asked me for purple, and I mixed red and blue, and it turned out kind of mauve. I put in way more red because I thought the blue would overpower it, but the opposite happened, so. This one, kind of a deep bluish black. Some of these skeins are more blue than black, but I'm calling this one Cloak of Dreams because sort of inspired by the Sandman. Oh yeah, this reddish black one, I've shown this one before, but this one's called Vampire King, and I've dyed what I consider a full set right now, which is 7, all in kind of the same collection colorway. So if people want to buy enough for a cardigan, they can, which is great. And not sure if I showed this before, but I dyed a couple of these, which I'm calling Joy. And I dyed some more, but like my recent batch, all of the yarn turned out a lot more pastel than, and it's especially noticeable with a couple of the skeins I was trying to recreate. So this is the most recent. So we don't quite have as much of the deep red on these skeins, but I think that they still look great. I think this is the last one I have to show. This is one of the oddball skeins. It is currently on the website. And it's the one that I was going to call the mermaid, because it looks very mermaid, but makes me think of one of my ancestor guides. So like you are, like old. It's a pun. So I was trying to recreate that one, but not sure if you can see, but this one's a lot paler. Or these the ones that I did this week, whereas this one, the blue, has a lot more depth to it. So I'll probably keep trying to recreate this one, but I do also like how this turned out. It looks very similar to the blue Vault of Inanna that I have, but that one doesn't have any green in it, and one end is deep blue, so hopefully they're different enough. Okay, bunny time. I actually have to hunt down my chart. One moment. All right. E comes before G in the alphabet. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. to redo a couple of, like the last bit, because it pulled out. I didn't put a stitch marker in. So just a sec. I think that was row 12. The last one we did. So we'll just finish that up. Chain 1, turn. Okay, row 13. This is the last row on the head. So then we just get to do the short rows for the ears. So we slip stitch in the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet in the same chain 2 space, and then we skip oh no. Well, I'm glad to have you back. Oh, you know what? We actually didn't do row 12. We did row 11, which explains why we still have a loop right here, which is the top of the triangle. So sorry about that. However, we do start the same way. Slip stitch into the same chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, and then chain 2 double crochet cluster, all in that same chain 2 space, chain 3, skip the first chain 3 space, single crochet into the chain 4 space. So the top of this little triangle of loops, chain 3, skip this next chain 3 space, and then do our double crochet cluster into the next chain 2 space, chain 2, double crochet cluster. Just as bad as Great Granny was with Road Rage. Aw. I have some really fun stories from my great grandparents, especially my, at least one, if not both, great grandmothers. One of them used to scare my great grandfather because while they were driving, she would his name was Garvis, so she would say, "Oh, Garvis," like something was wrong, and he'd be like, "Wait, what?" And she'd say, "Look at that woman's hat." So yeah, works on New York Giants blanket commission. You have 18 out of 112 done. Wow, that is a lot. So hopefully you get some good cash for that. Or whatever form of money you take. Yeah, so chain 3. I don't know why I chained before. Only chain 3. Right, the temptation. Chain 4, I guess. Double crochet in the next chain 3 space. Chain 3, double crochet in the next chain 3 space. And you might remember from last time, we just keep doing this all the way across. And each row that we do this, it's one longer. I think this time is like 5 or 6 times. I'm not going to count right now. But anyway, when you get to the last chain 3 space, double crochet and then chain 3 one more time, and then double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster. In the next chain 2 space, chain 3, skip the chain 3 space, single crochet in the chain 4, chain 3, skip this chain 3 space, and double crochet cluster in the chain 2 space, followed by chain 2, double crochet cluster in the same space. Chain 1, turn. And let's go over that real quick. That was row 12. You can really see the shape of the bunny. Like, the ears are going to be right here, I think. But there's only one more row, so of the head. Anyway. So yeah, after the chain 1 turn, we slip stitched into the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the same chain 2 space, chain 3, skip the first chain 3, single crochet into the chain 4, chain 3, skip the next chain 3, double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet into the next chain 3 space, and repeat that for as long as you have chain 3 spaces. Chain 3 one more time, double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the chain 2 space, and the clusters are always above the previous clusters unless there are rare exceptions, but that's usually how it works in this pattern. Chain 3, skip the next chain 3 space, single crochet in the chain 4 space, chain 3, skip the next chain 3 space, double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster in the last chain 2 space. And now we are actually at row 13. My mom said I'm working it up really fast. She said I just cast on the other day and blinked and I have 18 rows done. Cool. It's awesome when you know that you can get a project done fast. Especially when it's a commission, then you're like, I can get the money faster. So chain 1 turn, slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet into the same chain 2 space, and then skip this whole deal with the chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, skip all the way to the next chain 2 space, and do another double crochet cluster, but we're just doing one cluster in each of these, so we're not doing the chain 2 on a second cluster, just one. Chain 3, double crochet in the next chain 3 space, and again just keep doing that straight on till morning. I did actually count in the written version of the pattern how many times we do this in each row, but I don't have that in front of me. Okay, after the last double crochet in the in the last chain 3 space, chain 3 one more time, double crochet cluster in this chain 2 space, do not chain 2 and skip to the next chain 2 space, skip over the chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and do a second double crochet cluster in this space. Chain 1, turn. And that is the head done. So just to recap, row 13, slip stitch in the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet in the same chain 2 space, skip over these chain 3 spaces all the way to the next chain 2 space, and do one more double crochet cluster. Chain 3, double crochet in the next chain 3 space, continue all the way across, just doing that until you get to the last chain 3 space, and after that double crochet, chain 3 one more time, double crochet cluster in the next chain 2 space. Do not chain 2, do not pass go. Skip the 2 chain 3 spaces. I guess they would be go in this in metaphor. But wait, we are passing them, so I don't know. Anyway, skip these chain 3 spaces to the next chain 2 space, which is also the last chain 2 space, and do one more double crochet cluster. Chain 1, turn. And this time we actually have 2 slip stitches instead of 1. The first one, and we are starting the ears now, this is row 14. The first one is no, I think that's a previous one where we had 2 slip stitches, but there is something weird here, so I was kind of right. Slip stitch in the top of the first double crochet cluster, chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch, chain 2, we're back to this motif, double crochet cluster in the top of the second double crochet cluster, the one that's right next to the first one. Like that. Chain 3, double crochet in the next standalone double crochet, chain 3, double crochet cluster in the next standalone double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster in the same stitch, so that same standalone double crochet. And this sets us up for the ears. Well, one ear. It's kind of weird. We have a continuous strand of yarn for the face and one ear, and then we have to cut it and do the other ear. So chain 1, turn, and that was slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet cluster, chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the top of the next double crochet cluster, chain 3, double crochet in the next standalone double crochet, chain 3, okay, yeah, just checking that we did in fact chain 3, and then double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster, in the next standalone double crochet, chain 1, turn. Row 15, slip stitch in the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster, all in the same chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet in the next standalone double crochet, chain 3, double crochet cluster in the, not in the chain 3 space, but in the next chain 2 space, so on top of the previous cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster in the same chain 2 space, chain 1, turn. So that was slip stitch in the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster, all in the same chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet in the next standalone double crochet, chain 3, and then you skip this chain 3 space just like we skipped this one. So we go to the next chain 2 space and work double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster, chain 1, turn. Row 16. There are 21 rows total, so we are almost done, and like these last rows are fast. I still think that we'll probably need one more though, just to do the second ear. So, right, we're slip stitching into the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster, into the same chain 2 space, chain 3, and then we do something a bit different. We're still working in the next standalone the double crochet, but this time we do a double crochet, chain 2, second double crochet, so we're creating a V. A V. And then chain 3, I'm frogging a couple stitches because I realized in this row we're actually only chaining 2. So after the double crochet clusters, we chain 2. And then in this standalone double crochet, chain 2, second double crochet, and then double crochet again, and then skip this chain 3 space, go to the chain 2 space and work double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster. Chain 1, turn. Hubby just got home, so I had to make him a cup of tea since I'm hanging out in the kitchen. I'm working on a blanket. Well, that sounds like a great time. Yeah, it sounds like a fun, cozy afternoon. Is that the New York Giants blanket or a different one? So just to recap, row 16, we slip stitched into the chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the same chain 2 space, chain 2, skip this chain 3 space, and work double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the standalone double crochet, skip the next chain 3 space, and also chain 2, and then work double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the last chain 2 space, chain 1, turn. Yes, pretty much took over the table, lol. Nice. Yeah, blanket projects can be huge. I'm really glad that the one I'm doing with the Ghoul Squad for the Stitch and Scream is in squares, because even if they're big, like they're they don't feel as huge. Like the blanket I recently did with all of the mosaic crochet felt really unwieldy by the end. it's worth it, but yeah, it was a lot. And row 17, slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster. I think in the interest of time I'm not going to go back over the rows at this point because they're so similar and short, but I will have them in the written pattern. Chain 2, this is row 16, right? Okay. Skip the next chain 2 space, work this same thing with the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the chain 2 space in between these, double crochet in the previous row, so it's like a stack of these. So you skip one chain 2 space, go to the next one and work double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip the next chain 2 space, and we do our double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster, chain 1, turn. Row 17 and 18 are like so similar to row 16 that in the pattern I was just like, just do the same thing. So it should be pretty hopefully pretty easy to follow along. So slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the same chain 2 space, chain 2, skip the next chain 2 space, and double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the next chain 2 space, right above the previous V, chain 2, skip the next chain 2 space, double crochet cluster in the last chain 2 space, chain 2, double crochet cluster. chain 1, turn. Row 18, slip stitch in the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster in the same chain 2 space, chain 2, skip next chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the next chain 2 space, the V's are starting to stack up now. Wow, yeah, that's sounds like a fun time. Chain 2, skip next chain 2 space, double crochet cluster in the last chain 2 space, yeah, never get between a crafter and their supplies. Oh, and right after that double crochet cluster, we chain 2 and then second double crochet cluster in the last chain 2 space. You can see the ear is getting long now. It's about time to taper it off. So yeah, row 19, chain 1, turn, slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet cluster into the same chain 2 space, and now we chain 3 and skip the first chain 2 space. Just make a single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain another 3, skip the next chain 2 space, and finish off in the final chain 2 space with a double crochet cluster, chain 2, double crochet cluster. Chain 1, turn. So you can see it's got the little shape, the V shape, except there's less loops now, so it's going to taper up. Oh, nice. Yeah, I especially love the butterflies, but I know that this guy was this guy almost won when I had the poll of which one I was going to do the more the traditional tutorial video for. So yeah, I'm glad that I can bring people a thing that they might want to make through the work of this this amazing designer that I don't know anything about other than the name Chisako, which they seem to go by in this and the anthology. So yeah, row 20, slip stitch in the first chain 2 space, chain 3, double crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 2, double crochet cluster in the same chain 2 space, and then we skip these chain 3 spaces and just go straight to the last chain 2 space and make a second set of double crochet clusters. Chain 2, double crochet cluster. So that's 4 clusters total, obviously. The first chain 3 counts as part of the first one, so like that. Yay, it's focusing. Yeah, sometimes we're just drawn to things that we don't know why. Chain 1, turn, and I think this is the last row, yeah, wow. Slip stitch into the first chain 2 space. Chain 3, double crochet in the same chain 2 space. And then double crochet cluster in the next chain 2 space. So previous row we had 4 clusters, counting the chain 3 at the start of the row. This time we only have 2. And that's ear 1. If you want to go ahead, you can just repeat what we just did. You attach the yarn. I'll go into it more next time. Yeah, we just cut the yarn there, but you attach the yarn like right about here, I think. Yeah, right. Let's see. No, it's at the top of row, so it's right here. At the top of row 13, just after the chain 3, in the top of that double crochet is where you attach the yarn for the second ear and start chaining. So you do your chain and then double crochet, and that's kind of where you start that pattern. So, but yeah, we're almost done. Cool. Whoa, six people. Hi. It's a party in here. A goat party. Me. I finished row 20, so I've put my blanket away to work on birthday outfit number 2. Cool. I love the fact that you have multiple birthday outfits, as one should. For anyone who wasn't here before, this is a one-off that I made, which is going to be the yarn for my April square, which I haven't started, but it's for the Alt Knots Stitch and Screen blanket. I was showing off the squares I've done for previous months. I actually used the January square a lot as just like a elbow pillow. And until I actually put it in the blanket, I can keep doing that because it's very squishy. This is Boss Kitty yarn, the Coraline colorway. I'm gonna have to figure out where one gets sparkly yarn that's undyed, because at some point I'm gonna have to start dyeing sparkly yarn. So like I'm gonna have to find out if you can get the Lurex, which I think is the metallic strand. Like this has it too, with like undyed cotton or bamboo. So I know it comes in protein fibers like wool, but I specialize in plant fibers, which takes completely different dye. So, and like a completely different method and stuff. So, was just informed we're going dancing on my birthday, so need an outfit for the 21st of next month. Cool. Yeah. That sounds fun. Happy early birthday. Wow, I didn't think we would, like, I was going super fast, and I hope it didn't seem rushed, but I didn't think we would get done this soon. But yay. Stay tuned for my yarn drop. It's going to be like I think about 40 skeins all at once on the website, like a bunch more red, the red and black colorway, a bunch more other fun stuff. I got some blue and green. I have two different colorways that are pretty close to black, but not exactly. I have to decide if I want to actually dye like just straight up black yarn. Of course, it's a staple. And I did promise yarn for goths, which I'm going to keep that promise, obviously, because I also want yarn for goths. It's me. I'm the hot weather goths. But it's kind of boring to just take dye straight out of the jar that it comes in and put it on the yarn. Like, I kind of want to do something with it, so I'm still experimenting with that. But the black dye that I got from Dharma Trading Co. is called Raven, which is a cool name. So also it's very purple. Like when it washes out in the dye pan, like it looks deep purple even though it's black, which is cool. So yeah. I think I'm gonna let you go, but yeah, thanks so much for hanging out, and actually I think this Sunday I'm busy with a different thing, but after this for at least a few weeks I'll be back to doing lives on Sundays, hopefully, and also Thursdays at this time. I have the info on my header banner on YouTube. I should probably start do a channel intro thing so that people know a couple different places where they can find that kind of info, and like, here's my website, go get my yarn. Give me money, thanks. Anyway, look at pictures of my goats on Instagram. Anyway, have a great night. It's time to goat bye. And thanks so much for coming and hanging out.